everyone. I keep getting a lot of requests from international students about how to get into Duke and just how to. They want to learn more about the Master's in Management Studies program at Duke Fuqua, and I decided to just get a video together over the last couple of I think almost 4 or 5 years. I've been good about responding to as many requests as I can, but I think at this point I've reached I don't know, I feel like I've been answering the same question so many times that I would just love to create this quick video and just send people who reach out to me towards it so they can get most of their questions answered. And if you still have specific questions, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm happy to help. A lot of people help me to get where I am, so I'm really happy to answer your questions. Anyway, so hi, I'm Akansha. I have an undergraduate degree in mass media and specialization in journalism, and I did my graduate degree from Duke Fuqua in Master's in Management Studies program. And currently I work as a customer success manager at Amazon. I've been with them for about a year, and I have a bunch of other experiences in marketing and strategy, mainly in tech, and I am based out of Seattle. Okay, so Duke. I graduated from Duke in 2020, and I was part of the Master's of Management Study program, which was for about 10 months. I graduated in the middle of pandemic, so I think one semester was completely online. Okay, a lot of people ask me if Duke Fuqua's MMS program is good for them, to which I say that it depends on your background. If you have a non-business background, then you're going to learn a lot in this intensive course. I had an arts background. I did journalism, so I learned a lot of different aspects of business. But if you have a business background, I don't know if this course particularly is going to give you I don't know if you will learn more here. So there are other courses that Duke has. You can look into the MQM program, which was really good. It's Masters in Quantitative Management, so it was a really good course if you're interested in data analytics. And yeah, they have other healthcare management and other courses as well, so that would help you specialize. Since I feel like the MMS program is pretty generic, and it gives you like a foot in the door in the business world. It's good for people who are trying to pivot into the business world, because they have non-business degree. But if you have a business degree, I would recommend specializing into something, and I don't think MMS program is best for that. Okay, so support with admission. I would recommend applying as early as possible, because when you apply earlier, there's a higher chance for you to get in, and you can also secure a scholarship. Like, there's a higher chance of securing a scholarship. As an international student, you also have tons of other paperwork to do, apply for your visa to get here. So it would, I would recommend applying in the first or second round, no later than that. So my journey, I applied in the first round. I got in, and I had a 15%, almost 15% scholarship for my tuition. So I know a lot of people are worried about their GMAT scores or GRE scores, and I'll be honest, I did not have like a great GMAT score, but I feel like the admission council looks at your application holistically. They don't just look at your GMAT score. So try to work on your essays. If you think your GMAT score is lacking somewhere, you can explain your circumstances by writing an additional essay. That's what I did, and I still ended up getting a scholarship. So it is possible. GMAT score is not the only thing that matters. I think the important part is that the admission council is trying to find students from diverse backgrounds. So because Duke is big on like diversity in classroom, diversity in perspective, so try to explain in your application how you would be adding diversity to the classroom. Review or not just Duke, but any college that you apply to, try to understand their values. It should be pretty obvious on their website, so dig deeper, do some research, and try to explain in your essays how you would be bringing those values to classrooms. So for example, for Duke, diversity is big. I came from a journalism background. I had experience working in non-profit before I pivoted to the business world. So I was pretty much like the only person who had this experience in my classroom. So I highlighted those in my essay, and I think that was a big factor in getting admission at Duke Fuqua. Let's see. Some of the essays also ask you about what your future plan is. I think they have some short essays that would ask you about what would happen if you don't get a job, or like what are your future goals after you get this degree. And be honest, be authentic. And I think what they're trying to understand is that why do you want to do those course, how you're going to use this degree in the future. So I don't know, like talking about your future plans and being authentic is important. So I think it took me like 2 or 3 weeks to write all of my essay, and I would just like review what essays were needed and like think about what is expected of me, like what I want to do. I would like think about it, make notes, and once I had like enough material, I sat down and wrote my essays. So it's not something that will come to you like in a single day. You need to like think through it, and there'll be different versions of it. So yeah, make sure you give yourself time for that. And as I mentioned before, I would recommend writing additional essays, especially if you think you have any gaps in your resume or anything that you are conscious about that on your resume that you would like to explain. I believe that the additional essay was an important factor in getting me that scholarship. So yeah, highly recommend writing that additional essay. Then a lot of people also ask me about my experience at Duke, and I would say I learned a lot. I am from Mumbai, and I have never attended a university that had like so much space. It's a big university. So that was like my first day. I was just like, this is such a big university. Where you get to work with a lot of different students. You're divided in a group of 4 to 5 students. That's your team, because Duke is also big on like team building. So actually examples of that in your application would also be helpful, because that would kind of tell the admissions team that you work well in a team. So yeah, we were divided into 4 to 5 groups. 4 to 5 people groups, and I think we had 5 quarters. Every quarter was like 6 weeks, and every quarter we had like 3 to 4 subjects, so it's pretty intensive. And every lecture, I think we had lectures like 4 days a week. Every lecture you had like a lot of case studies that you had to read beforehand, and it was more of a discussion. And I think every week or every other week we would have tests. So yeah, it's pretty intensive, and you learn a lot, and there's a lot of resources. If you are you want to work on networking skills, because there are a lot of people that you can learn from, your professors, people from other programs, MBA students, MQM students, people from other schools within Duke. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunities to network. From my experience, there are some like fairs, like job fairs, and also some campus placement opportunities. But as an MMS student, networking is your best friend. From my experience, when we were trying to apply for campus placement jobs, or jobs that were, especially as an international student, you were competing with other undergraduate students in business who had like 4 years experience at Duke, versus you have like this 10-month program. So it doesn't really work in your favor, but at the same time, like almost everyone ended up getting a job sooner or later, but most of them got a job through networking. So I would recommend reaching out to alumni, like reaching out to people from other universities, talking to recruiters. Building that like personal connection is really important, especially if you're trying to find a job in the US. And I can like talk more about my networking experience and how I ended up getting the different roles that I did in the last 4 years. So yeah, I'm happy to talk about that as well. Let me know if you have any other questions. I'll probably make another video on job search and how I ended up getting a role at Amazon. But for now, I think this is a good place to start. Let me know if you have any other questions. But yeah, definitely apply to Duke. All the best with your applications. Try to be as early try to apply early in the admission process. Try to highlight your internships or like clubs that you've been part of, anything that kind of shows that you can bring diversity to the classroom, and that you're a team player, which is the values of Duke Fuqua. Again, other universities might have other values, so do your research if you're trying to apply to other universities. And yeah, let me know if you have any other questions. Feel free to connect on LinkedIn.